Hey y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. This week, we're going to revisit a topic that I'm fairly confident we've covered in the past, but that's okay. It's always good to refresh. So, I have gotten a handful of messages recently, and in particular this week, someone reached out just trying to navigate follow-up. I'm applying to roles, I'm doing the things, I'm trying to take everyone's advice, not getting anywhere. When should I follow up? How should I follow up? What does that look like? You're going to hate this answer. I hate this answer. But unfortunately, when it comes to recruiting, the answer is almost always, it depends. There are so many variables, there are no guarantees. Even the best, most well-intentioned advice is not going to work on this person or that person. It's just the way recruiting is, unfortunately. Wouldn't it be great if there was just like a universal standard? I mean, it might be kind of boring. I feel like it could make things worse. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, this is the world we live in. This is the capitalistic hellscape we are trying to survive in. So let's figure out how can we do that without losing our minds entirely. All right, so the number one thing I'm going to tell you when it comes to follow-up. First of all, you must, if you want to do this effectively, you must track your output. And what I mean by that, you have to, if you care about follow-up, if you don't care about follow-up, don't worry about it. But if you care about follow-up, you must track your output, and what I mean by that is document somewhere, somehow, where you've applied. Now, this could be as easy as an Excel spreadsheet, maybe sticky notes on your refrigerator, maybe a notebook. It doesn't matter. The actual mechanism, completely up to you. I love a good spreadsheet personally. I would do this on a spreadsheet myself. But basically, what I want to document, if I'm a job seeker, I want to put the company that I applied to, the job title, the rec ID, whatever information, identifying info to help me keep my stuff straight, the date that I applied, and then room for like notes, follow up, whatever. Okay, so it's very quick. I hit apply and I copy paste some stuff into an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm tracking where my data is going. There are companies that provide paid services to do this for you as well, or they might have a free option that you can leverage or whatever, but you can certainly look into those. You can pay for something if that's helpful for you. I'm perfectly content with the spreadsheet myself. That's just me. So I'm doing that. That's step one. I'm going to actually jot down, all the places that I'm applying to, where my information is going. About once a week or so, and you can decide how often you want to do this. I'm just saying what I would do. Probably once a week, maybe starting my fresh Monday job search week, I follow up on last week's applications. And what I mean by that is I'm going to do a quick search of my email. And I'm probably checking every day because I'm actively looking for work, but I want to do a quick search and compare. So, okay, I applied to company A, company B, company C. Let me see if I've gotten a response. Okay, verified I got my application. This is good. This is good. A lot of companies, I think all companies should, but a lot of companies do have a mechanism where you will get an automated email. Thank you for applying, confirming receipt of your application. Your application for this job is complete, whatever that looks like. Okay. For me, that's going to be a quick little like yes, no toggle button. Did I get confirmation that my application was received? Check. Perfect. What that tells me, my application was successfully completed, which means it is now in a recruiter's queue. Do not argue with me on this. I will not be taking any nonsense from the ATS bot people. I'm telling you, being on the other side of many of these systems, that's what it means. Now, whether or not somebody actually looked at it or if there were knockout questions or something else, that's a different topic entirely. But what it does tell me is that the application was completed and received. Okay, so I'm checking that box. Second thing I want to check, was there any additional communication? This could be, again, potentially automated rejection email. I'm no longer under consideration. I've been carefully reviewed and you're not moving forward with me. Whatever that looks like. I don't care, me personally, this is just my own way of maintaining my sanity. I don't care about the verbiage in that template. Just tell me I'm no longer under consideration so I can get on with my life. I might even hide that row on my spreadsheet because I don't want to see it anymore. That's fine. Or rip up that sticky note, whatever it is. But this way I know I have closure. I can spend time being upset about that. I can be mad about it. I can demand to speak to the manager and ask why. Your job search, your call. Me personally, I'm putting it out of my head and I'm moving on. But now I know. So I can, again, yes, no, toggle, note, whatever in my tracker, moving on with my life. If I have not heard, this is where the follow-up comes in. If I have not heard back, I'm going to take 2 specific actions, okay? It's been a week, maybe 2 weeks, so whatever cadence it is that you're building for yourself for follow-up, I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to first of all see, is there some kind of candidate portal? Did I create a username password for this company? You can also put that on your tracker, by the way, so you don't lose that or, whatever. I'm going to log in and I'm going to look at my candidate record and I'm going to see if there's any traction there. Am I still under review? Have I been rejected, but they didn't send me a notification? Well, okay, at least now I know. I had to go find out myself. Thanks, no thanks. But at least now I know, so I can move on with my life, right? But if I am still under review, and maybe it's been a couple weeks, this is where if I'm interested in the job, because look, there might be jobs I applied to where I'm like, any port in a storm. Take it if I'm desperate enough. So you can kind of decide, you don't have to follow up on everything. Use your time wisely. Spend your emotional energy in the places where it makes sense. If this is a role that you are somewhat excited about and feel good about, yes to follow up. If it's one of those Hail Mary, I applied because I was desperate at 3 a.m., I may not put the energy in. Totally your call, though. You can decide how you want to do this. So here's what I'm going to do for follow-up. First of all, I'm going to see if there's any kind of candidate portal, request for information, chatbot, candidates at company email, something, any mechanism for follow-up. Now, this will be rare. I'll be honest with you. I don't expect you're going to find this very much. But if there is something possibly there, take advantage of it. That's why they created it. God bless the companies that are doing something like this. I love it. If I don't have an option there, I'm going to my friends at LinkedIn. And I'm going to search for recruiters at that company. Now, one thing about a lot of recruiters, not all by any means, but a lot of recruiters were pretty good at talking about the roles that we want to fill. My about section goes into some detail about the kinds of jobs that I recruit for. I have my purple hiring banner so you can see the top 10 roles that are most important to me at any given time. I try to keep that updated once a week as well. So you can kind of get a good sense of oh yeah, Amy actually is a recruiter who hires what I do and may be connected to the role I applied to, even if it's not specifically listed. I'm going to reach out to that recruiter. And I'm going to be very specific in my outreach. Hi, recruiter. I applied to this job ID, requisition, whatever, a couple of weeks ago. It looks like I'm still under consideration. I'm really excited about this role. I don't know if this is one of your positions or someone else's, but I just wanted to reiterate my interest. And if it's not you, please feel free to forward this message to whoever's responsible for that job or some variation of. You can actually spin my networking template a little bit on the website, recruitinginyogapants.com. Go to templates and FAQs, networking. You'll see a whole lot of good stuff there for you. But tweak that a little bit and just send that friendly reminder. Track that on your spreadsheet, emailed or in-mailed or whatever, cold called the company, whatever, this person on this date. Okay? So you can do that. And I'm going to do that, once a week, once every couple weeks, whatever, for those high priority roles. I'm going to look at potential recruiters who might be connected to the role I'm applying to. Also going to look for managers. So the networking template guide covers this as well. I'm going to look for possible who would be the boss of this job. Maybe I could shoot them a quick note. Hey, I don't know if this is your role, but I'm really excited and I applied on this date and I'd love to talk to somebody more about my qualifications and why I'm great or some variation of. That's absolutely okay. So in closing, friends, here's what I want you to do. Document. Okay, keep track of where your information is going, who it's going to, and what's being done with it as best you can. Develop a clear system for follow-up. Make Wednesdays your follow-up day. Commit to do it twice a week if that's what you want. Like, you decide. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that there's one way to do it or one cadence that works. Like, you need to figure out what makes sense for you, your job search in your industry, but create a plan. Too many of us approach this just like throwing things everywhere and hoping that something sticks. And get a plan. Get a plan, friends. Your life will be easier for it. I genuinely believe that. Okay? And then finally, once you have gotten some form of closure, make like Elsa and let it go. Okay? Like overthinking it or being upset that they posted it again 3 months later or they hired somebody who's not as good as you 6 months later or whatever is only going to give you a migraine. It's not going to make you feel better about yourself. It's not going to improve your chances the next time. It's not going to do anything except make you feel bad. We have enough in our lives to make us feel bad. We don't need this to be one more thing. So focus on forward momentum. If they did not recognize your greatness this time around for whatever reason, that's okay. God has something better for you. Okay? Keep applying, keep networking, keep tracking, and keep following up. Final thought on this. I personally have a 3-touch rule. This is when I'm recruiting. This is when I am cold calling for myself, business development, back in my agency stage, you name it. 3 times I will try to reach somebody, and I know how to take a hint. If you are not responding to me by the 3rd outreach, you are not interested, and that is okay. I will move on with my life, no hard feelings. And in my job search, I would do the same. Now, you can have a 1-touch rule, you can have a 10-touch rule. It is your decision entirely. I'm just sharing what I would do, and 3 for me has kind of historically been the magic number. And my response rate at that 3rd email, about 80%. Now, a lot of times it's so sorry we didn't get back to you sooner. Thank you. We are not interested in you or whatever, which is fine because at least now I have closure. But that 3rd email seems to be the one more often than not that actually gets me a response one way or another. So something to consider, friends. Give it a try. Let me know if you have built a mechanism that you feel good about that works for you. Share with the class. I think we can all learn from each other here. And y'all, bonus tip, people sometimes get mad when I say this on social media, but I will die on this hill. Create a job search specific email that is only for your job search. And that way you can control when you are reading bad news. If you're being rejected, if you're getting the thanks but no thanks over and over again at 3 a.m. on a Sunday, read it on Monday when you're ready for it. Nobody says you have to check work email on the weekends, unless that's your work schedule. Anyway, good luck, friends. I hope this gave you some food for thought, things to think about. As always, questions to ask is our goal here on the channel. And we will see you next week.